Welcome to the Imperfect Dads Podcast. This is your host, Devin. We believe dads care deeply about their family and kids, but they don't always have a space to discuss what their life looks like. Our podcast is a space for dads to discuss the ups and downs of fatherhood and how they feel like they're holding it together or how they're not. Thank you for joining us for this episode. This podcast is part of the Never a Face Network. Make sure to follow them on Instagram or go to the website neverafacenetwork.com. On this episode, we have a musician, producer, and guitarist for the Used Joey Bradford. We talked about life in California, having 3 daughters, being cool with Disney princess life, how kids keep you humble, raising independent kids, transitioning from tour to home life, building a home studio, loving golf a little too much, family helping when he goes on tour, and how he and his wife support each other. A lot of this episode is a genuine love of the life he's building with his wife and how they both get excited to support each other following their dreams. And I really love the chance to share stories of people working to maintain a life they've always wanted. Just like one more thing.
Dad, just start the episode.
Oh, my bad. I am much more focused on like experience more than like expertise. Because I think every dad is out there.
Now, so we're good there.
Exactly. Because that's the response. It's every dad is like, wait, am I supposed to be an expert on this? Because I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. And once you just go, hey, I also don't know what I'm doing, almost every dad is like, oh, thank God we can be honest about this. That's great.
Totally. Yeah. You peer behind the veil, so to speak, and we're all in this together. You see someone else's kid freaking out and they're, a parent sitting there not knowing what to do. It's like, oh, okay, we're all doing the same thing.
Basically, you're like, I'm probably 5 minutes away from being in that exact same spot.
Absolutely. You never know.
You don't. Most basic first question to ask is how many kids you got, ages, all that good stuff.
Yeah. I have 3 daughters. My oldest just turned 8. My middle daughter turns 4 here in a couple weeks. And then I have a 1.5-year-old as well.
Nice. All daughters, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah. We're in it now. Princess house, pink everywhere, glitter on everything. It's amazing.
Are your girls pretty into like Disney or Disney related stuff?
Totally. Yeah. Like, especially my middle daughter, my 4-year-old, she's just like in prime princess mode right now. Everything's magical.
Yeah.
We're actually taking her to Disney for her birthday next week or something like that. It'll be her first time. So she's pumped.
That's awesome. I have 2 daughters. So I have a 10-year-old daughter, 8-year-old daughter, and 4-year-old son. And having daughters, I didn't really watch like Disney growing up. Like my parents let us watch like Die Hard and like action movies and The Simpsons and stuff. So like to go from like, here I am like learning how to enjoy Frozen 1 and 2 and all these very princess themed things because they make my daughter happy. It's definitely a skill set I've had to learn that was not natural to me.
That's funny. Yeah. I've always been like super into all that stuff. Not like on a weird, like a Disney adult level, no offense.
Yeah.
I've always loved it. I've always loved the musicals. All these newer movies in the last decade or so, like there's bangers on these movies, So it's like some of my favorite songs of the last decade are from Disney movies.
Yep. Well, I think once I realized that like Alan Menken did basically every Disney movie in the 90s was a musical written by Alan Menken. And then you get like, I can't think of their name, but they wrote Avenue Q and the Book of Mormon, but they did the Frozen soundtracks. And then, Lin-Manuel Miranda just hops in every once in a while and writes a couple soundtracks. And you're like, this is real music. This is good.
Yeah, they're full on bangers. It's pretty sick.
It is. That's fine. I would have assumed since like you're a rock guitarist. So the thought of you watching Disney with your girls is kind of cute that you're like, yeah, man, let's do this. Let's lean into this.
I'm all in. Like before we had kids, I never really was leaning one way or another. I wasn't like, I really want to have boys or really want to have girls. But once I found out I was having a daughter, I was like, oh, this feels amazing. I'm really excited about this. And, one after another, we're done at 3 now, but yeah, it's awesome. I just like, I kind of know what to expect. They're all super different, but it's a party in our house.
Yes, having 2 daughters and then having a son, it was hilarious to me to see like what I needed to learn differently. Because literally something as simple as like changing a diaper and like how am I going to get peed on today was like just different. And like immediately, like I'm always surprised when parents are like egotistical because like every single day you get humbled by your kids because you're just like, oh, I couldn't predict that correctly. Oh, I couldn't predict that correctly.
Never could you. And it's always the things where you're like, wow, I can't believe that I have to teach this. Like, there's so many
Yeah.
things like, oh, this isn't just like inherent. Like, you have to be taught you can't do that or whatever, pretty fun.
Yeah, I remember the first time because my daughters are starting to, like, try to cook for themselves, put stuff in the toaster or something like that, and, like, the moment of, like, them going to reach something to get out of the toaster and being like, "Oh, just so you know, never put metal in a toaster." Like, I don't think you guys are going to, but, like, if for some reason you're like, "Oh, this waffle's stuck," do not grab a metal
Don't
fork
do it. Yeah.
and do that, which they weren't even trying to, but, like, I think you just have these constant moments where you have a slight panic attack. You're like, "Oh, by the way, never do this because you will
It's
die."
constant. Yeah. It feels like there's so much of parenting is like telling your kids what not to do, which and then in the back of our mind, we know like there is no way for us to construe this to our kid without them learning the hard way. For every single lesson there is to be learned, it's like, I'm gonna tell you, and I know it's gonna fall on deaf ears, but like I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah,
If you
pretty
fall off this
much.
wall, it's not gonna feel good, but you do what you're gonna do.
Yeah. Yep, pretty much. My kids are old enough now where, like, if we go to playground, I feel more comfortable, like, sitting at a bench and watching them. But,
Sure.
like,
Yeah.
with your 4 and 1-year-old, I'm sure you're like, "Hey, guys, if you fall from this distance, you're breaking something."
Yeah.
And
And it's my
I'm
fault.
all for learning lessons, but I'm not for broken bones.
Totally. Yeah, my youngest right now is, like, in full savage mode. She's just, like, climbs on everything, everything's in her
Yep.
mouth. My older 2 were not like that. They weren't, like,
Yeah.
eating random stuff, but this little one is constantly testing us, and she's always in our peripheral vision, like, because
Yeah.
there's 3 of them now. So it's always just like, "Where's Della?" She's like, "Oh, she's in the pantry getting her own snacks and, whatever." Yeah, it's really fun to watch, but it's so much chaos right now. It's great.
It is. I love, like, wanting to teach my kids independence, which I think is really important. But then
Totally.
that means they're independent. So then it is like, "Hey, why are you grabbing a snack right now? We're about to eat dinner." Like, and they're like, "I'm hungry. You told me to grab a snack if I'm hungry." And I'm like, "Well, I did, but with context, don't damn it."
Yeah, and you gotta figure out the moments where stick to your guns or you're like, "Well, I guess I did say that." It's so, so tough. Realizing how little my parents had it together from learning all these
Yeah.
lessons. Like, "Oh, we have no idea. We're just trying to keep these kids alive and happy as best we can."
Pretty much my wife I'm currently like a stay-at-home parent. My wife travels for work pretty regularly, and I feel like the standard we have for each other is like, "Hey, if you go on a work trip, like, they go to school, they make it home from school, they go to after-school activities, they come back up from after-school activities,
That's
and they
really good.
eat food and they bathe at least once." Dude, that's success. You're doing it
I
right. You
agree.
got it.
Yeah, 100% agree.
How do you since I know you're a touring musician, whenever you're on the road, what's that conversation look like for you and your wife? Are you just kind of like, "Hey, seriously, like, you're keeping kids alive. Like, you're awesome. You're great. Keep it up."
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm constantly gassing her up. She's like 10 times more badass than I am. Like, I fell into
Mm,
an amazing career, but she just has it together. And I really just follow her lead.
mhm.
She was a nanny when she was younger, which I think was a big help and just had a really mellow family growing up. So, yeah, our house is awesome. She does everything. I do what I'm told.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I go on tour, it's this weird mixture of like, obviously I don't want to be away from my family and like miss bits of them growing up, but I'm able to provide like a pretty special life. We bring them out sometimes so they're able to travel a bit. Yeah, so there's really like there's pros and cons to it. But yeah, my wife, I mean, she's single parenting for a lot of the year all the time. Even when she comes out, she's got to fly with all 3 kids by herself to meet me
Yep.
somewhere and then I'm working half the time.
Yep.
So it's on overload, and the appreciation is like there's no words for watching how my wife is taking care of our family while I do this crazy, silly job.
Yes. I know, like, I've talked to some touring musicians where, like, whenever they have younger kids like you do, they are very intentional about it. Jason Isbell's band, last year did like 3 or 4 shows in the Denver or Colorado area. So they're like, "Okay, that's the one in which we like fly out families. We're gonna be posted up at a hotel for like 4 or 5 days. Like, come out to this." If we're
Exactly.
just like one night in Salt Lake City, don't do that to your family. Like, don't do
Exactly.
that.
It's such a pain and such a waste, but we try to do places that my wife's never been, places where we're at for more than 3 or 4 days. Like, last year was actually really special. It was our 25th anniversary tour around the world. We did 3 nights in each city, or 3 shows
Yeah.
in each city. So, generally, we were in the same spot for 4 or 5 days at a time. So the family was able to come out to a couple of those and like really take advantage of being in the same city, which is not normal for my whole career, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's usually fun spots. I got to bring everyone out to Sweden a couple years ago. My wife and my oldest
Cool.
came to Australia a few years ago. So it's like we're getting to check off these really special boxes without it being this, $20,000 trip. It's like, oh, dad's working. So
Yeah.
let's figure it out.
That's awesome. Do you guys live in an area where you have, like, family in town who can help out? Like, if it was ever, like, your wife was like, "Hey, I wanna go to this show. I wanna come visit you on tour, but I kinda wanna do it without the kids." Do you have family around who could help out with that?
Yeah, we have a ton of support. So I live
Cool.
we have a little compound out here in North San Diego. My parents live on the property with us. We built them a little condo.
Cool. Yeah,
So that's amazing. They help a ton. And then my wife's parents are just about an hour north. They come down quite a bit and they'll come help. And yeah, my wife's mom will like travel with us sometimes. She's actually a flight attendant, so she'll travel with us and like hang with the kids and do the whole thing. So
that's cool.
yeah, we have a ton of support. Everyone's like gets along really well. Very lucky. Everyone loves each other. It's awesome.
That is awesome, and that's also phenomenal for you that, like, oh, if your parents are just, like, on the same property as you, like, oh, cool, if I know how they're doing, I can help them out. If, like, there's gonna be a time in which you need to be around to help them out more also, and, like, to not factor that into your mental space is like, "Oh, dude, don't mess this setup up. You've got something good going."
Absolutely. I mean, everything we do is to hold on to this property. We know we have like this really special little
Yeah,
lifestyle and it's like we have our toes like dipped into the hippie well. Like, we have well water and we grow some of our own food and we have chickens and it's like, we're halfway in, halfway out.
that's awesome. Okay, so if you have chickens, like, do your daughters help out with, like, tending a garden, helping out with chickens and all that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I have little barefoot outside kids. It's great. So they're always getting the eggs and feeding the chickens and helping out around doing everything outside. They're always with grandpa on the tractor and golf cart rides, stuff like that. But yeah, we're like outside 99% of the time. It's great.
That's awesome. That's that's the goal, right? I feel like anytime my kids are outside more, I'm like, "Oh, I think I did this right." Did you grow up, like, with a farm or chickens or anything, or was it kind of like a later on in life, "You know what? Let's get some chickens and let's try this out."
Totally. No, I grew up in a track home right next to my high school. And then when I was 16 years old, my parents had an opportunity to buy this property. And it's basically like a big piece of land, big for Southern California, with a house that was fallen over. My dad's a builder, and we've spent the last 25 or so years, however long we've been here now, slowly remodeling every inch of it, adding little bits and pieces, and it's become this like family compound. My parents live here. We have another granny flat on the property that our friends live in. And my studio and wood shop is another detached building, and then we have the chicken coop in the back. It's just like I didn't grow up like this, but once the property, like the opportunity to get it arose, my parents jumped on it. And then like the second I started making any money, just started dumping it into this place. And my wife and I've committed to living here forever. And, we basically switched houses with my parents when we had our second daughter. We're like, hey, we need the big house, rebuilt them, a smaller, but still pretty substantial size spot that they live in and it's awesome. Little compound.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have a friend in the neighborhood where he lives in the house he grew up in, and I was like, "How'd you end up your parents are still alive. How'd you end up living in the house where you grew
How'd you
up?"
take your parents out? Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, as my parents got older, we'd always be like, 'Hey, mom and dad, this is too many steps for you. Like, you've got a basement, you've got a main floor, your bedrooms are upstairs. Like, that's not
Right.
like as you guys get older, like we got to figure something out." And they're like, "Oh, do you want to buy this house?" And they're like, "Um, actually, yeah, yeah, no, that might actually be a really good solution." But like, I was like, "How did your parents are still? Did you just kick them out one day, just walk in and be like, this is mine now?" Like, how did you do that?
Totally. No, our situation, that's so funny because that's come up a few times. Our situation was basically we were looking elsewhere. Our family was growing. I was considering moving to Nashville, like doing a lot of songwriting out
Yeah,
there anyway. Just kind of having all those thoughts. We outgrew the little spot that we had built on the property. But then when we told my family, like, hey, we're thinking about moving to Nashville, they're like, what? Like what do we have this property for if we're not gonna, keep the family on it? So that was when it like
yeah,
presented itself and we were just, overwhelmingly excited because this place is amazing. So yeah, then we did the switch and it's been really cool.
Yeah. I think that's kind of like something that like I think life is filled with moments like that where you look up and you are like, okay, something needs to change. We need more space. We need more room. And then you got to figure out like what the next adventure is. We actually moved from Nashville to Colorado in 2024
Mhm.
because we needed like an extra bedroom. We wanted a garage and we wanted more space. We'd always wanted to live out here. And we kind of were like, if we don't do like, if we want to live out there, like the next 15 years of our life is getting kids through school. So like this is kind of
Yeah,
the moment where we do a move like this. And hopefully you have the mental presence to be like, oh, this is like, this defines my future. Like this isn't just a casual thing. This is a real decision. And hopefully you have the mental space to actually think through it whenever it presents itself.
totally. And it's awesome doing those big adventures, man. I mean, that's how many of those do we get in life to make these big changes and to live through something that's new and exciting. It's fun. Even honestly, even just moving like upstairs, essentially, like switching houses and doing this whole thing has been such a fun adventure. And we've been remodeling everything. And my wife's still getting to like, live out her dreams of making her own house and do all this stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's great.
As a stay-at-home parent in my relationship, I feel like my wife will be like, "Are you sure this is good? Like you don't like?" Because I think there's always some assumption for a stay-at-home parent of like, "Oh, don't you wish you could be doing something else because it's so hard and all that?" And I'm
Sure.
always just like, "No, I get to like make sure we have stability and so many things are taken care of, and like we don't negotiate who takes care of something. It's pretty much me. So like
Totally.
it's such a calm life and it's such a freaking privilege that we can afford for me to stay home right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we've with my wife and I too, we've traded so many times since we've been married. Like she ran her own business for a lot of years. And there were years where she was the definite breadwinner. There was years where I was the definite breadwinner, and we've gone back and
Yep.
forth. We're fortunate enough to where she was able to stop working a couple years ago, but again, only because we have 3 kids and I'm gone half the year. It's like,
Yeah.
we want to be around for these kiddos. But yeah, dude, it's having that stability, having the ability to have one income is such a huge blessing. And it's so
Hmm.
awesome to be able to do that. And you're around the kids all the time. You just get to pay attention, especially in the like world we live in now, where I feel like
Yes.
everyone is fighting for the attention of our kids, in a million different ways. So it's nice to be around.
Yeah. How long does it take you to switch from like being on tour brain to being at home brain? Like, or because it's such different mental inertia and such different mental state,
Yeah.
does it take you a couple of days to get back into the home rhythm?
No, it takes me about 5 minutes. Like
Oh, that's good. That's great.
I've never been like I need to decompress, whatever. Like honestly, having 3 kids and having such a busy property and life at home, like when
Hmm.
I go on tour, I have this guilt because I feel like it's a partial vacation because half the
Yeah.
time, we have crew that's setting up and does everything. Like the majority of my day is, I have to sound check, I have to do a meet and greet, and then I play my hour and a half set, and then that's pretty much it. So like the rest of the day, people are taking care of me and giving me everything I need. I have a ride everywhere. And I know my wife's at home with the 3 kids, and like, that's a toss up on how every day is going to be.
Hmm.
But it's awesome. And it's awesome that I have her, and man, I don't worry a single bit when I'm gone. It's like she doesn't need me, but I need them. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, on tour is definitely just like it's a break from the hard stuff. So when I get home, I like there's no excuse. I'm like I walk in the door and it's like if my wife's not already like I'll see you in a couple hours. It's like what can I do to make your life easier? You've been holding it down. I try to take over like doing bedtime with all the kids for like a couple weeks always, and which they fight, of course. But yeah, it's I just jump right back into it. I don't want to be that dad that's like, I know I've been away, children, but like, give me a couple days to do nothing. Like, that's
Yep.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Yep. Well, props to you for having that mindset. Ben Nichols from Lucero has that same mindset of like, no, I was just on tour. Like I just like did whatever for like 2 weeks while you held down all of this world. Like, what
Everything.
do you need me to clean out the fridge? Do you need like I'm doing
Yeah.
school pickup
Yeah.
every day? Like, what do you need? Because it's great to hear. I always love sharing whenever husbands have such respect for their wives, and I love being able to share that because you are clearly like No, you just did a bunch of hard stuff. I went and played guitar for an hour and a half and had a really fun time, got really energized from it, while you fought bedtime for probably 3 nights in a row. So yeah,
Yeah,
no,
there you go.
what do I need to do?
Absolutely. And I get motivated immediately too. Like my wife almost gets almost annoyed by how like hustle mode I am when I come home, because I'm always just like, all right, what do I need to do? I'm gonna go like start working on the backyard, then I'm gonna go over here, then we're gonna get this project started. And she's like, yo, just make dinner. Like, okay, you know?
I get it. I think my wife has the same energy sometimes. She's like, what do you need? Because I bet you need something. And I'm like, actually, no, the kids were pretty chill. We had school, it was pretty chill, like everything's good. And she's like, okay, but like, what do I need to do? I want to be helpful. And I was like, oh, what you did, like you made the money to provide for all of this. So trust me, in my mind, you already have
You
done
did
a
it.
lot. So
Yeah,
like you're carrying your load is what I hope I'm able to communicate to my wife. Like we
totally.
are both carrying stuff. We're in this together. We're a partnership. Don't feel like there's a deficit that you created by not being here, because we're doing this together and we're going to figure
Yeah,
this out together.
totally. And I feel like I can read the room. I mean, we've been together for so long. I feel like I can read the room. It's like, all right, I need you to step in here without her having to say, can you help with X, Y, and Z? It's like, I'm gonna rip the dishes real quick because it seems like everyone's a bit overwhelmed or something. Like, yeah, you can read, you can feel it. The air's a little bit thicker right now. My wife is just the chillest on earth. Like, she can't be bothered. She's super mom. It's cool.
That's awesome. I think you can. One of the, I think, unspoken things about being a dad is dealing with the reality of like when you want to be helpful and realizing in what ways you wanting to be helpful is in no way helpful at all. And then still staying motivated to pivot and find what's helpful. Because I've done that multiple times, walked into a room like, oh, it's helpful if I do this. And it's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, totally.
This
Yeah,
thing's something else.
100%. That's funny.
Besides playing, like being a touring musician and everything, and playing guitar on the road, what else do you do? Do you produce? Do you do other stuff, or what besides touring? What else do you do to fill your time?
Yeah, I do a lot of different things. So I do producing and co-writing. I've been doing for a lot of years out of my studio, and then I manage some artists as well. I had a pretty big roster for a lot of years. Slowed down on that once we had our third kid. I was in the management game for a long time. Once we had our third, basically slowed down on my whole roster there, just because I couldn't focus on 7 bands and be a good dad and doing and all that stuff. But yeah, and I've been in the merch game for on and off for a lot of years. So I help bands get merch stores running.
Cool.
I did like help with marketing, things like that. I'll build websites. I've always just done a little bit of everything for my whole career. I was a guitar tech, a merch guy. I worked for a merch company, labels, all this stuff. So I'm just like, weirdly, I have knowledge that I didn't purposely seek out. So like one of my main things that I like to do outside of being a guy in a band is just helping young bands, helping people to like figure out what not to do, how to make music and get it out. Like I like to be advice guy wherever I can. But that, and then I play golf, a few times a month. That's like my big hobby.
That's cool. That's also like, I feel like if you are managing artists, I'm not saying you're a dad to the artist, but you are like in dad mode the entire time. Like, oh, I wouldn't do that. Oh, it'd be better if you did this, kids. Like, and all that. So having a third kid takes up. I mean, I feel like when we had our third kid, like I'll tell my wife, like when we had just 2, she traveled for work, I'd be able to like clean, have the house reset, like do a deep clean or something like that. Third kid came along and I'm like, no, they're all still alive. That's my standard now.
They follow you around and like knock stuff off the wall. And you're just like, you take it and you're like, this is why they make kids so dang cute. So that you don't punt them across the room. Like, this is wrecking your life, dude. No, it's too funny. Yeah. I feel like the kids thing, the jump from 0 to 1 is the biggest jump. Like becoming a parent is the biggest shock. I feel like 1 to 2 is kind of like, yeah, it's a big change, but you're fine. Everyone's still floating. There's enough. You can do it. 3 kids is like having like 11 kids. Like any 3 or more. Again, I don't know more than 3, but you are outnumbered. I know that's the cliche, but it's the best way to put it. You're just like, you want to clean the house? Well, one of those 3 kids has got a better idea. Like they want to play with that toy now that you've looked at it, So no, but it's awesome. And we constantly, I'm sure you guys do this too, but we constantly, like when the kids are getting overwhelming, we do the like, we're going to miss this. Like, I know we're going to miss this. We're going to miss the messy house and the loud kid and the fighting back and the like silly tantrums. So like take a deep breath, We're not allowed to argue with a 4-year-old. Like, we got this.
Yep. Yep. Or like, yeah, today I negotiated with my 4-year-old which which show he wanted to watch. And I was
Yeah.
like, sometimes am I like, dude, you've been scrolling to try to figure out what show you want for like 5 minutes. Like, yeah, of course it's annoying because I already know what he wants to watch. He just hasn't chosen it yet.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like, it's also freaking cute. It's freaking cute as hell that he's trying, he's all like proud of himself for being like, I found Paw Patrol. I found Blaze. Look, I'm going to watch this episode. And I'm
Yeah.
over here like, I just want to, can I go get a snack? Like, do I
Yeah.
have to keep standing here?
I know. It changes though. It's always, again, that's why there's like two parents, is whenever one's like not in the mood for it, the other one is usually steps in. Like with my wife and I, it's that same way. Like, when I'm feeling overwhelmed, she's the most patient. When she's feeling overwhelmed, I feel patient too. You know, when it doesn't line up, that's when things get tough. But usually,
Yes.
you know, you got that balance at least.
Yeah. What's I know, like, for me, if I'm having a day like during the summer, it's me and 3 kids for like every day. And they're at night, I'm usually more prone to be like, hey, can I go on a walk with like, not can I go? Hey, later tonight, whenever I'm like, I'm gonna go on a walk with headphones, like
Yeah.
just because I just want like a moment to like detach from this. Do you guys do anything like that? Or how do you guys make sure to like keep that where you can get a break or kind of refresh yourself during the days?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down in my studio a lot. I have a lot of time to myself, like with work and
Yeah.
doing a million things. So usually, you know, early afternoon, something like that, when I come up, I'll feel it out. And it's like, do you need to go hit a thrift store for an hour? Do you need to like just take a walk? And anytime that those moments present themselves, she's so down and she's just like super appreciative. It totally works. It's a reset. But yeah, I mean, it's for me, I have my studio space, and I accidentally put a golf simulator in my live room recently, so no more drums, but I can play golf.
Did you say accidentally?
I tripped, and there's a golf simulator in there. She'll go out and her big thing is thrifting, which is great. So it's like, she'll take $18 to the thrift store for 2 hours and come back fulfilled. So it's a beautiful thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think I know, like, in our marriage, it took me a while whenever my wife would be like, hey, do you need to go get a walk, to not be offended by that question. Because she's just listening and be like, hey, if you want to go step away for like 30 minutes, you can. I got this. But my thought, it took me a while to be like, that's a failure. Like, I should be able to hold all of this. And she's like, no, it's just 30 minutes. And like, it'll be better if you go on a walk. So go on a walk. So I think I'm now at a place where I'm okay with hearing that. But I know, like, when first starting to be a stay-at-home parent, I was more like, no, I'm fine. Like, I shouldn't need that, was more my mentality.
Which is funny because I think it's being able to communicate that to your partner and say, just take a break, is like the most healthy thing. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's really cool that you have a studio on site or on your property. Is it pretty easy for you? Are you in a pretty good routine of like, whenever you go down there, you know how to get into a creative mindset immediately? Or do you do anything like to warm up and get into that mindset?
It's pretty dialed in. So I always kind of had a studio in this space. It started more ghetto when I was a kid. We had this shed that was here, and it slowly morphed its way into being a real space. And then during the pandemic, I knocked it all down, poured a big slab, and we like built my dream studio that I've been designing for like a year.
Cool.
But the whole thing is set up for like workflow. So I walk in, computer's already on, session's ready to go, guitar's right here, keyboard's over here. It's like we're set up to be doing songwriting really, really fast. So like, I don't have one method. Like, sometimes I'll get up, open a keyboard on a blank session. Sometimes I'll listen to some music, play guitar. But just kind of see where it takes me. And a lot of times I'll have people over and just like sit in the room working on whatever they're working on, just to like give me some sort of creative vibe. And that helps a ton as well.
That's awesome. I love, like, I have found more creative people whenever they have multiple kids, that they are like, no, if I got like 2 hours to get in the studio, I'm gonna take this serious. I'm gonna get down there. I'm gonna get in like creative mindset. Where like before kids, dude, it's like, you know what? I might pick up the guitar today. I should write a chord.
Blow it out.
But you have kids and you're like, I got to get going. I can hear them upstairs. Let's go.
Totally. No, that's funny you say that too, because we're going to make a new record this year, and we've been in kind of demo writing mode. And like all of January, I basically, after I put the kids to bed, like around 9:00 when everyone's like asleep and good to go, I would come down here and basically for 1 hour and write a song. So I'll give myself 1 hour. immediately get into it, and wherever I landed after an hour, that's fine. Go back up there. You get the fear when you're like away too long. You're like, something's going wrong. I need to get back. But yeah, I did that for like all of January, and I came up with some really cool stuff. And there's something like that mindset where you're like, I have this hour, I have this 2 hours, take advantage of it. Whether it's good or bad, just get something out while you have complete freedom. It's always at night for me.
Yep. Yeah, same. I think I do most of my like editing of podcasts and stuff at nighttime because like if I do it during the day, my mind is too like, there's something else. There's like, it feels like it shouldn't be me time yet. It feels like I should be doing something to like make sure I'm supporting the family, or something like that. So
Totally.
yeah, it's interesting how once you feel like, okay, all this stuff is taken care of, I'm good. Now I can try to be creative and let's set a parameter around it so I don't just get lost in here as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly the facts.
So, okay. Due to internet being unreliable, I'm going to start wrapping up the episode.
Sounds good, man.
I just asked like 5 questions to end the episode. They're pretty fun, lighthearted questions. First question is, did you have any backup names for your kids? Like, did you have any names that you almost named your daughters?
Ooh, our first daughter, absolutely not. Edie Lou. That was my wife. My wife had that name written down when she was like in middle school, and it stuck. Trying to think. My middle daughter, who's named Marlo. Man, I think with Marlo, we were pretty set. I think all I'm remembering now is once we got to the hospital, we were like, this is definitely feels like her name, and Marlo May came out. Yeah. I think we had some others. I can't remember for her, to be honest. And then Della, my youngest, was a game time decision. We were just like, we had nothing. Like, we were just like, I don't like any single name out there, whatever. And Della is like I think it's a family name from my wife's side, something like that. But weirdly enough, my wife was just looking at one of those like popular baby name things, whatever, for this year, and Della was on there, which is crazy. It was like, it felt like the most out of left field name. It was like a deep family name that she happened to like. Like, well, apparently everyone is related to that ancestor, but I'm sure there were other names. You know what name I did like was, I liked the name Stella. I thought that was a cute name for a kid, but then obviously I was like, I'm not going to name my kid. Like, I'm going to get like beer? No. But so we didn't name her that.
To me, when I think of Stella, which no younger kid would know this, I think Streetcar Named Desire. And Williams and just screaming Stella.
We would think that.
That reference is dead. Yeah.
Age yourself right there. There you go.
Our middle child's name is Magnolia, and it was before the like Joanne Gaines and Chip Gaines started their Magnolia line and everything.
Sure, yeah.
Like, oh, this is a cute. It's kind of southern, but it's cute. It's sweet. And then Magnolia is freaking in every single Target across the country now, and we're like, all right, now it's not as charming.
We blew it. Yeah. I'm happy with my kids' names. I haven't had any like, why did we didn't go too weird, Again, no judgment. Naming a human being is like the hardest thing in the world to do, but I'm pretty happy. All my kids have cute little names. I think they'll suit them as adults too. We'll see.
That's awesome.
Heck yeah.
Next question. Do you have a favorite TV or movie dad?
Whoa, man. Tim Allen was always my, you know what I mean? Growing up, like Home Improvement, and honestly, that's like a pretty accurate version of my dad too. Like manly yet compassionate dad, contractor, like good. Yeah. Tim Allen was definitely like a good man growing up. I liked him a lot.
That's awesome. Next question. Do you guys have a replacement curse word? Whenever you stub your toe, someone cuts you off in traffic, do you say the curse word or do you make another noise instead?
No, I try not to. We do a pretty good job. I try not to cuss in front of the kids, which is funny too, because like, just to tangent a tiny bit on that, like that's such a funny thing to figure out how to parent in the modern world, where like I feel like every adult, even if you use quote unquote foul language, like it doesn't make you this like heathen devil worshiper like it felt like in the 80s, Yep. So we have a weird thing. Like I don't necessarily cuss in front of my kids because I want to use smarter words, so to speak, which is a funny way to even say it. But when we do come across cuss words or we say them or something slips or our kid says something, we just try not to react. And like one of the things that I've told my oldest, because she's come home a couple times and, so and so said this word. And I'm like, yeah, it's one of those things. Some people decided a long time ago that they were offended by it. So like we try not to say those things in public, but like, we're not offended by it. You're okay. But replacement cuss word, man, I can't think of anything. I kind of talk like an idiot in general, so I'm always saying some stupid, some abbreviated version of something. But yeah, I try not to drop like actual bombs in front of the kids.
Yeah. A middle child because they get curious about words. They know it's a bad word, and then natural question to ask is like, what does that word mean? So I remember once my middle child and oldest were like, what does the F word even mean? And I'm like,
well, it's a nuance word.
Oh,
yeah.
How do I explain? I said, you know what? I don't have a good answer for you now. I'll think of one and I'll get back to you.
Dude, my oldest, so I guess this was like maybe a year ago or something, but same thing. She came in and she was like, just straight up like, can I cuss on your show? I don't know. That's the thing.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you can say curse. Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Yeah, but she came in, she was like, Dad, what's fucking mean? I was just like, try not to laugh. Just try immediately like, what do you, like, what's the context? What are we asking here? And she was like,
yeah, there's
whatever. She's like,
very versatile word.
Yeah. What's the contest? And so, someone said, that's fucking awesome. And I was like, well, what does it feel like it means? She's like, I don't know, like really awesome. I was like, you nailed it. Like that's, we don't, there's better ways to say that. You don't necessarily have to do it. And sometimes people get uncomfortable with that word. But like that's the context in which they were using it, and then we just immediately moved on. It's like, so anyway, how was gymnastics today? Like, it's good past. My wife's behind her dying laughing.
Awesome. Yes, we went to a burger joint once in like Golden, and someone wrote like the F word on like on like the bathroom wall or something like that, and one of my kids was like sitting there peeing, being like FUCK.
No,
and I'm like, no, I don't. Come on. I'm not even saying it. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's part of the deal.
Then you sit there and you're like, hey, just so you know, if other people will get offended by that word and don't say that word, why did someone write it on the wall? I don't know why someone wrote it on the wall, but someone decided to write it on the wall. So should we erase it from the wall? We can't erase it from the wall. It's written with a Sharpie. What's a Sharpie? A Sharpie. Oh, God.
You win again. Yeah. Part of it, man.
It's part of it. And you're at the same time, you're like laughing and you're like, it's a definite moment of like, I have to take this seriously because I can't just like act like it's not there, but also
totally.
I don't want to explain to my kid why someone would write this on the wall of a bathroom.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's things that our parents said to us too that like didn't ruin us, where it's like, just because, and moving on. Sometimes it's like, I'm just not ready to explain that to you yet, buddy. Like, we'll get there and you're going to be fine because of it. So, yeah.
Yep. Pretty much. Next question. What's like one of your favorite like kid toys or activities, like something to do with your daughters?
We do this silly game where I lay on my back in the backyard and we throw the ball up in the air. And it's like just this silly thing I've done with these kids forever. And it's so much fun because they're just laying right next to me and we're just throwing the ball up, And then,
and like trying to catch it.
Yeah. It's like, I'll throw it up and catch it right in front of their face and they love it. And it's like, it's such a silly little thing, but I've done it with all three of the kids since they were little babies, and it's like my favorite thing. When everyone's around, everyone's happy, and like, everyone come lay down quick, let me throw a ball. We do that. We go on a lot of walks around our property. We're just kind of always in the backyard. We're always digging around in the garden, in the chicken coop, but outside time with the kids is my favorite. Taking them to the park is fun, but we kind of have like, it feels like a big park at our house, so we're always just exploring the property. Hitting golf balls with them down here in the simulator is pretty awesome.
That's cool. That's fun.
Yeah.
Are you okay? So I have to say this because I think it's ridiculous. My wife this week for work, she works with a lot of healthcare companies, had to go to the Masters. So she went to the Masters yesterday for like the practice round and is flying back today.
Dang, that's sick.
Yeah. She was like, should I? She was like, I don't necessarily have to go. Should I go? I'm not. We both aren't much golf people.
Sure.
You're like, I was like, okay, Heather, you have an opportunity to go watch a practice round of the Masters for free and not pay for any of it. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, go do that. Go do that. It's good. Like, you're going to eat fancy food. You're going to have an experience that you're going to be like, did I seriously go to the Masters? And like,
well, life is
the answer
great.
Yes. The answer is
yes. Yeah, golf culture is pretty wild. I'm always, anytime I play at a crazy spot, I'm just like, I can't believe they're letting me in this establishment, let alone like getting to play and enjoy all the amenities, you know. Last week I got to play in a charity golf tournament at the Riviera in LA, and it's the super exclusive club. They have a bunch of tournaments there, you know, so we're playing this like immaculate, unreal course Tiger Woods plays on, and like you know, they have tournaments there, and it's like I literally landed. We played at the Sydney Opera House. I flew home the next day, landed in LA at 7 a.m., and then teed off at 12 in LA, just straight from the airport to the golf course because I got the opportunity to play this place I would never get to play in my life.
Yep. Yep.
That's golf. But yeah, going to the Masters for free, got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, like, it is the fun part as like a partner, and like we value experience. And so, like, I'm sure your wife was like, hell yeah, go. Like, I got this. Like,
She really was.
Something that's
Yeah.
going to be, and that's awesome.
Yeah, she was like so stoked that I got to do it. It sounded like a horrible idea. Like, oh, you're gonna do a 15-hour flight and then drive straight to a golf course to play a full round. Like, I didn't get home till late that night. You know, I'd already been gone for a week and a half. But she was like so supportive and like figured out getting my clubs up to the place for me. And yeah, she's dialed in.
That's cool. That's awesome. And then last question for you. Do you have like a least favorite kids show or movie? Like anything where your kids watch it and you're like, I cannot stand this show.
Interesting. Yeah, like when the kids were younger, like Cocomelon and like that kind of stuff made me want to do something different. Yeah, no, my kids, like, they, you know, they like some stuff that's like, okay, we've watched this 1,000 times, but it doesn't bother me that much. Like, my kids are big on Gabby's Dollhouse. That's a big one in our house. Which, like, whenever I feel like I'm starting to get annoyed by that show, I like realize my middle daughter is like literally being parented by Gabby right now. She comes in and she's counting to 10, and she's like having poignant thoughts. I'm like, where did you learn that? She's like, oh, Gabby taught me about. Yeah, like, oh, marine life. Like, I know a lot about it, Dad. Like, whoa, okay. But yeah, no, man, that's kind of the only one that comes to mind. Cocomelon like crushed my soul. And Caillou crushed my soul. Like, I'm impressed by anyone getting to like who creates and produces any piece of art, and I think it's amazing people can get to the finish line and have follow through. That's awesome. But those shows made me cry. It's so brutal, man. Yeah. But there's some great shows out there.
Those are the two most common answers where everyone is like, I feel Caillou, I don't understand him as a person and why you would create this character. And everyone for Cocomelon is like, I feel like it's like I sat my kid down for breakfast and just poured a bowl of straight sugar for them and was like, yeah, this is destroying you, and I'm okay
weird
with it.
Studies done with that show, and I'm gonna like misquote reality here, but like somewhere along the lines I read that show is like extremely addicting to kids, and it's like the endorphin rush of how it's animated. I'm like, I'm good. Like, we have enough trauma that these kids are gonna get showered in living in the technology era. Like, you know, we're not crazy strict, like no nothing, but we're not far off. Like, we don't really have screens in our house. We have, you know, TV, but we just like, man, the only thing I'm hearing is negative stuff about all of it. So we're just holding on to that innocence as long as we can. And then we'll navigate it once we get there the best we can. But also no joke any version of it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying my way's right or not. I'm sure my kids will be just as messed up.
But they'll be messed up in different ways.
And that's what you're
for. And then last thing is just like moment for self-promotion is like the Used going on tour anytime soon, website, Instagram, what you got going on, all that good stuff.
Yeah. We have a pretty mellow year, but a special year this year with the Used. Like I said, we just did the Sydney Opera House with the orchestra and choir, and that was a huge moment.
That's cool.
We're playing the Hollywood Bowl later this year with My Chemical Romance. That'll be a really fun reunion.
Awesome.
Bunch of festivals, playing a bunch of Danny Limmer festivals, playing some of the Warped Tour shows. Yeah, and then we're going to make a record. I believe we're going to get into the studio this year, put something out next year, have a busy year in 27. But honestly, this year I'm just going to like enjoy watching my kids grow up, hang out at home, do some dad stuff, and just make an album when I have some time.
Dude, that's awesome. Man, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for letting me into your world and learning about your life. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad that worked out. Thanks for talking.
And I'll catch you sometime when you're near Denver.
All right, sounds good. Hope I let you good.
Cool.
See you, bud.
Appreciate it. Thanks, man. Have a good one. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the Imperfect Dads Podcast. And make sure to give us 5 stars wherever you listen to us. Music, editing, and production is all done by me. Make sure to tune in on Mondays and most Thursdays for new episodes. This podcast is part of the Never Efface Network. Make sure to go to nevereffacenetwork.com to learn more about them.